For decades now, people have been able to use cameras and phones to record their day-to-day life. Most of the time, these videos are relatively innocent or unremarkable. However, sometimes these videos are the exact opposite. Videos that will leave the viewer distressed and unnerved. Videos that will stick to you. Today, I'll be covering some of these videos. This one might get crazy, so viewer discretion is advised. Follow my social media link below and let's get into this one. This video is one you may have seen before. However, for those unfamiliar, this one will likely hit hard. The video begins with a woman recording a blue suitcase on the ground. At first, nothing seems to be happening, but then...
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
A voice can be heard pleading for the recorder, Sarah. Yes, someone is currently zipped up inside the suitcase, and they're still alive.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
As you can see, the recorder of this video is completely remorseless and sounds a bit intoxicated. The person inside the suitcase continues to plead for Sarah to let them out, and Sarah will not. Eventually, they stop moving. So your question is probably why? Well, let me explain. The woman recording the video is named Sarah Boone. The man inside of the suitcase is Jorge Torres Jr. Their history is rocky at best, meaning that they've had run-ins with the law before due to domestic disputes and fighting. I watched these videos as research for this case, and I recommend doing the same after you finish this video. At the point of the suitcase video being recorded, they had been together for around a year and a half. According to both her husband and Jorge's little brother, they were both violent towards each other.
And you said when she drinks that she can get physically aggressive.
She can. I mean, she did it to me a lot, where she'd hit me and stuff like that. I mean, she's tiny. I mean,
What do you mean hit though? Like open hand smack you, or like try and punch you?
Yeah, she'd punch me. I mean, more arms. She many times would use her claws. I mean, I had scratches on my neck at times, on my arms. I mean, things like that where she'd dig with her claws.
Okay.
I never got that drunk, and I had restraint. I never touched her back. I think George didn't have that restraint, and at times he would hurt her back. So I mean, for all I know, all the times he got arrested, she started it.
Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck, eye.
Like what kind of marks?
Like the time she hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck. Because I've seen her. Sometimes she had marks and stuff. So
and what do you mean by marks?
Like bruises and stuff too. They used to beat each other.
With such a long history of this sort of thing, it's not surprising that this happened. But why record it? And even more so, why choose this way to take his life? Wouldn't it have been easier to just lock him out of the house and call the police, considering they're very familiar with the both of you? Well, in my opinion, the reason points towards Sarah's largest problem.
Does she drink daily?
I think pretty much.
Okay. And do you know like her drink of choice?
That would be vodka.
Vodka.
Or wine, but vodka is the big one.
Not only is this why she sounded so intoxicated in the video, but it's also likely the reason she chose to record it herself, as anyone in their right mind wouldn't exactly want to expose themselves committing something like this. She clearly also assumed that she wouldn't be caught, despite recording said video, considering how vehemently she denies pretty much everything I've stated prior, including her drinking issue.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording like that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimentous, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know. But you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, What is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand? And
No.
She would also go on to deny that there was any altercation prior to the suitcase incident and that they were actually playing hide and seek. This is something she also said on her 911 call. A neighbor would go on to say that they did hear loud noises coming from the apartment. After detectives show her the video that she maliciously and idiotically recorded, she acts as though they were still just joking around despite the obvious fact that they were both serious during the situation. Due to the overwhelmingly obvious fact that she was clearly guilty and clearly lying, she was charged with second-degree murder in May of 2020. However, this story hasn't actually concluded yet. She was actually supposed to go to trial a couple of times, but it kept getting rescheduled. As of now, she's supposed to be facing a judge and jury on November 7th of this year. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. This isn't actually the first time she zipped someone up inside of a suitcase.
One weird little detail about this case is that, while the police were investigating, they found that Boone had previously been investigated for zipping somebody up in a suitcase. She had posted a picture on her Facebook page of a child being zipped up into a suitcase. The police and CPS looked into the matter when it happened 4 years ago.
That was investigated 4 years ago, and both our investigators and Department of Children and Families realized it was consensual. The kid wanted to get in there. The kid wanted the picture of being in the suitcase.
So, just a really weird coincidence, or did that give her the idea as a way of punishing her boyfriend?
This video is pretty bad quality, but it's literally the only archive I can find of it, so you'll have to forgive me for that. I'll transcribe what I can and censor anything too crazy for YouTube.
August 9th, 1993. I've had enough. As you can see, I went out this morning. I bought the ammunition. Got my clips ready. Actually, I didn't know this was such a small caliber gun. I thought it was an AK. Everybody I meet, all my relatives, I fantasize thousands, millions of times about killing them. It's better this way, because if I wasn't going to do this now, I would end up being one of the worst serial killers in this country's history, without a doubt. I'd like a little bit of payback, I really would.
So it's probably already pretty obvious why this is in the video, but I'll give you a decent bit of context. On August 9th, 1993, Dion Terres recorded a tape that was more or less a final note, if you get my drift. The entire tape is apparently 40 minutes long, but as far as I know, the tape is basically lost media. I'm not sure if it truly is, but I personally couldn't find it. According to online sources, the tape consisted of him talking about his interest in certain figures like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, for example. He also talks about some very unnerving personal experiences and a lot of things that I just can't cover in this video.
Depending on what I do today, I don't know if you're even going to see this tape or not. I'm sure the whole world will see this. You can kiss my ass, everybody. That's right, because I'll kill everybody if I could. I got this fancy. I'm inviting everybody over and just taking y'all one by one, man, doing it. And just hanging your body parts, man. And just let you drip down on me. I know that's sick. I know it's sick, you see? I understand it. I realize I'm sick. You know? But I don't want no part of anything anymore. Why don't you tell the family what you guys did to me when I was young? You in particular. Tell them. Tell them about it all.
A forum post detailing all of this information will be linked below though. I'm sure you've already realized that isn't all though. See, Dion wasn't just a disturbed man who wanted to leave a parting letter. No, he wanted to leave a lasting impact on the world.
Fantasy turned all too real when 26-year-old Dion Terres acted out his madness. 2 lunchtime customers, wounding a third and then himself.
On August 10th, 1993, just after 1:30 p.m., 26-year-old Dion Terres entered a McDonald's in Kenosha, Washington. He immediately yelled for everyone to leave before revealing and using a firearm. The majority of the 20 or so people inside managed to escape, but 3 weren't so lucky. Sandra Kanega and Bruce Bojensen passed away due to the attack. Kirk Hauptmann was only slightly wounded. After these three were hurt and or had their lives taken, Dion decided to turn the firearm on himself. Some have theorized what exactly could have caused him to do this. Some think it could have been him being fired from his job at Motorola, while others think that it could have been the fact that his 16-year-old girlfriend broke up with him. She left him because he became too possessive, stalked her, and did other things. Terres also had a history of picking fights with people and pretending to be in the military despite never actually joining. A troubled and pitiful man that chose to ruin the lives of others instead of simply ending his own. Rest in peace to victims of this tragedy. For this last one, it's technically a YouTube video, but it was also the only subject I found that I thought fit the theme of this video enough. Plus, I didn't really want to have only 2 subjects in a video anyway.
It's May 8th, 2009, and today I nearly died. I wake up this morning and it is storming like crazy. I can hear the hail on the roof. I look out my window. The pool is going crazy because there's so much water flowing into it. The trees are crazy. It's still pitch dark outside and it's like 7:20. So I get ready really fast and I rush to school, out the door, and then I'm leaving for school and there is just tons of rain. And it's like the street is just like one entire puddle. And I'm going and there's trees down in the road. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be late.
On May 12, 2009, Wildebeest 8888-3333, or Will Norton, posted a video titled, "I Nearly Died." As you saw in the earlier clip, the video details his honestly very terrifying severe weather experience.
And then I saw so many ambulances, which kind of freaked me out because I had to pull over into the big puddles and I was like, ah. Keep in mind, I drive a Hummer, so really I shouldn't have any reason to be scared.
So I'm sure you're confused as to why this video is in this video because he survived. Well, the numbers look increasingly bleak for families hoping for the best after a monster tornado that devastated the town of Joplin, as the city has raised the death toll to at least 142 and state officials say 100 people are still missing. Thousands more people far beyond Joplin have been waiting for good news about a teen believed to have been ejected or sucked from his vehicle on the way home from graduation. Several social networking efforts specifically focused on finding information about Will Norton, but his family says that he too is among the dead, found in a pond near where his truck was located. On the evening of May 22, 2011, a EF5 multiple vortex tornado struck the city of Joplin, Missouri. The tornado grew fast and reached wind speeds of over 200 miles or 320 kilometers an hour. As it ripped through streets and buildings like the Greenbrier Nursing Home, Franklin Technology Center, St. Mary's Catholic Church and School, and Joplin High School, it showed no sign of stopping. Before the residents knew it, the tornado would go on to destroy numerous other businesses, including a Walmart supercenter. Even a 3-story apartment complex was wrecked. During this time, wind speeds may have peaked to 250 miles an hour or 400 kilometers an hour. Around 20 to 25% of the city was destroyed. 158 people passed away and over 1,100 were injured. As previously stated, among the deceased was Will Norton. From what I understand, there was a high school graduation event held on the same day 3 hours prior to when the tornado struck, and likely he was driving as a consequence to that. This apparently led to him getting pulled through the sunroof of his Hummer by the tornado. There aren't many things more terrifying than nature. It's something that can't be controlled and can't ever be fully predicted. Rest in peace to Will Norton and everyone else who passed away in this video.
I'm done. I am done. I'm never driving in weather again, ever.